Some Chucky news. We could do some Chucky news. I feel like there is some new Chucky stuff that came out with. We could talk about that. Our first photo of the trio coming back, so I'm glad they're back. I do like them, even though I wouldn't have minded a brand new story. I do like them, and they did update the plot for Chucky season 3, because I remember the first time I did a video on it in the trailer, they didn't have the plot there, and then after I said that, they magically changed it. Wonder if they saw my video. Doubt it though. See, so the plot this time around is, in Chucky's unending thirst for power, season 3 now sees Chucky ensconced with the most powerful family in the world, America's first family, inside the infamous walls of the White House. How did Chucky wind up in here? What in God's name does he want? And how can Jake, Devin, and Lexi possibly get to Chucky inside the world's most secure house? All while balancing the presence of romantic relationships and growing up. Meanwhile, Tiffany faces a looming crisis of her own as the police close in on Jennifer Tilly's murderous rampage from last season. All right, so the idea of Chucky at the White House, sure, I don't mind that. I do kind of think that works. It's kind of cool, Chucky messing with the president. There's definitely the aspect of, like, the mystery of, like, why is he there? What's going on? Like, we have this little thing here.
Thank you, Teddy.
Secret Service bringing Chucky to the president. Some mischievous stuff going on. Like, the setting is there. I don't mind it. It'll be the reveal of why he's there and, like, what he's really got up his sleeve that I'll be interested. It's also cool, the, how do I say it? The way the trio is going to have a hard time trying to get to Chucky, because it's hard enough to get into the White House. You have Secret Service and all that kind of stuff. That's going to be impossible. I'm not sure how I'm going to love the Tiffany side story. I like Tiffany, but I feel like we've just outgrown her story, and I respect and I like Don Mancini. He created Chucky. He deserves to do whatever he wants with Chucky since it's his thing, but I mean, Jennifer Tilly's his friend, so he's always going to put her in stuff, and I'm just like, I feel like we've just worn out the Tiffany storyline. I don't know if there's much they can do there. I don't see even a mention of Nika. If it's Nika hunting down Jennifer Tilly, I'd kind of be down with that, because I really like Nika. I thought she was a cool new introduced character, and they kind of, like, really hoed her when they cut off her limbs and stuff. I still couldn't believe they did that, but nevertheless, I'm going to give it a chance. I like that. Let me see what else they had coming out. I think at one point I saw Critical Overlord tweet about it, so let me see if I can go to his thing. I think he confirmed that part 2 of season 3 will be coming out in 2024, is what he was saying. Oh, he already actually got to see it. That's awesome. Let me actually read his review. He got to see the first 4 episodes. Chucky season 3 part 1 and 4 is not the scariest season we were promised. It's more the same, with everyone's favorite killer doll wreaking havoc at the White House. Brad Dourif and the entire class deliver, but the campiness is growing stale for me. Dang. I feel like I'm going to agree with Critical Overlord on here. I don't mind Chucky being campy at some points, but I just miss when he was like a real threat. I miss when he was like frightening and scary, and it was diabolical and bloody and gory. Now, like, I hate to be a Debbie Downer. This storyline of the kid who listens to Chucky and tells the grown-ups, Chucky said so. Chucky did it. Chucky wants to. That we've done that now in this franchise like 5 or 6 times. We can't keep playing that trope. We did it with Andy. We did it with the little girl from Curse of Chucky. We did it with the kids in the beginning of season 1. We're doing it now with this president kid. This formulaic thing of the kid going, but Chucky did it. Chucky wants to. It's like it's grown stale. Tyler and Child's Play 3, like, it's such a repetitive old formula. The only thing new is it's the White House. It's like, okay, the setting's cool, but all right. I'm already being a Debbie Downer. I shouldn't. But I like, let me listen a little bit to his thoughts here.
Now, Chucky season 3, while I enjoyed it, I had fun with it. It is the weakest of the 3 so far. Because again, this is...
He's saying it's the weakest of the 3? That's not good for me then, because I needed season 3 to be above season 2. I just had my missteps with season 2, and if season 3 was at least better than season 2, I was gonna be okay with it. But he's saying it's the weakest of the 3. What? What?
Part 1. This season does not pick up where season 2 left off, but it will indeed loop its way back to that moment during part 1.
Okay.
This was honestly just more of the same, and that's a little disappointing because we were promised the most scariest season yet, and it did seem like we were heading in that direction. And don't get me wrong, you guys will have fun with this just as much as I did, but even I was baffled by the writing decisions this season. Not in terms of the character development, but in regards to my suspension of disbelief being pushed to the edge, and that's ironic considering I'm watching a show about
And that's something, too, they do now, is like... There's no... I get what he's saying, the suspension of disbelief, where it's like they take it a little too exaggerated, a little too goofy. Like, you can do fun, kind of casual things, like Chucky getting buff at one point, right? And he punches holes through people, but, like, that's ridiculous to think about, right? That, like, a Chucky doll actually grew muscles, it worked out, it went through that whole process. It's like, you have to suspend your disbelief a little bit and be like, all right, like, I let that slide. This is a TV show. This is all made up. It's fiction. But sometimes when the show tests you too much, you're like, well, then anything can happen. An alien can come down from the sky and fight Chucky, and there we go. That's what's going on now. Suspend your disbelief, people. We'll see. Sorry.
Killer doll that I would always love and adore. Perhaps the most bizarre writing choices happen when Tiffany is in prison. So you're going to get to see Tiffany in prison during this first volume.
Oh, you see Tiffany in prison. That's going to be interesting. Now, that would be a great setting for Chucky. That would be different. Can you imagine a show set in prison where Chucky shows up every now and then? We wouldn't have to deal with the kids saying, you know, Chucky did. Chucky in a prison would be great because you're stuck there. You're trapped there. You can't leave. And Chucky's roaming around. That'd be so cool. I doubt they're going to do that, though, but okay.
As serious as prison should be, Chucky makes it seem like a playground, and you get one of the most wackiest, unserious sequences ever in this franchise. The pacing is hit or miss for the most part, but certain things did seem overly long, like a particular strangulation kill and the wacky occurrence at prison with Tiffany. Basically, the chance to lean into terror, like we were promised and build suspense, are short-lived, but the wacky shenanigans get to breathe with no restrictions. Chucky's conflict this season is also completely absurd to me and slightly far-fetched because it's tied to the Voodoo for Dummies book, and I was like, wouldn't you...
Why does he keep going to that? Oh... Okay, so his motive is going to be tied for the Voodoo for Dummies book? Okay, little history on Chucky if you don't remember. Don Mancini didn't create the voodoo stuff. Whenever the first Child's Play movie came out, Don Mancini's original vision was that Chucky would come to life through, like, the blood and love of Andy. They do, like, a little blood sacrifice. Some of the blood touches Chucky, and that's kind of what makes him come to life. It's just through the passion and the believing of this kid wanting the doll, it comes to life, right? The director, Tom Holland, that was his name, that's Spider-Man Tom Holland, he didn't like that. He thought it didn't work, it didn't feel right, and so he decided to add the voodoo element, and that led us into Charles Lee Ray, the human character, then the voodoo side of things that added a new expansive lore. Voodoo is real in this world, and all that stuff, and I like that, because Charles Lee Ray, like a human serial killer going into a doll, great concept, love that. But since it wasn't Don Mancini's idea, he never really liked it, never really played into it, until we got to, like, Bride of Chucky. Once we got to Bride of Chucky, he started playing with it a little bit, but he would treat it as a joke where he would make fun of it. He's like, fine, this is part of Chucky's thing, but we're gonna joke around about it. And Tiffany learns how to resurrect Chucky with a book called Voodoo for Dummies. And it's like, oh, why can't we get serious about it? Why can't you invent an actual book? Why can't you explore the Damballa gods? Tell us where they come from. Are there other people practicing voodoo? Why does the voodoo side of things turn into a joke and anybody who just picks up this book can learn it and then start turning into a doll? And it's like, okay, respect it a little, man. I get you didn't create it, but fans like it, so play with it. So to hear that ever since Bride of Chucky, they're coming back and bringing this as a plot point and bringing the book, that's just like, that does not make me excited.
Devin and Jake are ready to have sex, or so they think. Caroline is...
Whoa, that's gonna be interesting. That's not gonna make the comment section of my videos fun. Okay, that's cool that they're gonna dive into that. We saw them grow up, man. They were just little kids in season 1, and now they're ready for that. That's gonna be something.
Nika's revenge plan on Tiffany, while reasonable, was also underwhelming, but I should have known that.
Oh, so Nika is in it. Cool. Oh, but he says it's underwhelming. No, they really screwed her. They should have just given her a full trilogy. They should have done Curse, Cult, and one more movie, then jumped onto this TV show with just Devin, Lexi, and Jay. Because, oh, man, Nika was so badass. Nika was cool. I liked everything they were doing with Nika. Now She's just like such a side character to this story.
I don't know why I was expecting anything too overly elaborate. It's quite simple and to the point what her revenge was. Yes, there are some cameos. Massive ones. That's all I'll say. The kill.
Oh, massive cameos. Oh, I wonder who it'll be. Hopefully it's dang, I just said his name earlier. Child's Play 3. What was his name? The little boy who gets the doll. Why does his name slip my mind? Was it with a T? Was it with you guys? Tyler. Thank you, Tyler. I don't know why I was thinking Terry. Dude, that would be so cool if Tyler cameos. That's only the person I really want. I'm trying to think of, unless they bring the bride of Chucky cast back, but I doubt she'd want to come back. What's her name? What's that woman's name? Well, maybe she could have a good relationship with Don Mancini. What's that woman's name? She was in Grey's Anatomy, because we don't know where they are or what they've been up to. Catherine Higgle, Jade. She'd be interesting, a cameo. That'd be it. So number 1 for me would be Tyler, and then number 2 would be Catherine Higgle.
Low. Right now, I'm gonna have to give this season a 6.5 out of 10. I just think
6.5 out of 10. Dang, that's kind of sad. That's kind of sad. We'll
time
see
for us
how
to
I feel.
find that balance.
I'm not gonna let this sway me too hard, but now it sets expectations
slightly
a little bit. Just to get ready for the campiness, the comedy, the things like that. Just we'll see. Chris likes Chucky season 3. I hope so. I'm gonna give it a chance. I always try to be positive. It's Chucky, man. I'm always going to.